You're listening to the What's the Fuzz podcast, where we break you out of your vacuum seal and get down to what's real. Never miss another episode again. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows. And now, your host, Reiner.
Hey, what's going on, Fuzzos? Thanks for tuning in. I'm Reiner the Blue Dragon with the appetite for ass, and I'm joined by Pan the Bear.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, on this fine Saturday afternoon of September 26th, 2020. If you're not familiar with him, he's one of the heads of the Furs of Color safe space for BIPOC furries to find each other and chat with each other without the fear of harassment. They're really freaking cool, to say the least. You can follow them over at Dungeons and Bears. I'll put that in the description. Thanks so much for coming on the show, Pan.
Hey, no worries. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, of course. So I've got an icebreaker question for you to start off.
Okay.
All right, if you could only have one beverage for the rest of your life, what would it be?
That depends. Do my tea still rot?
Yeah, sure. You can have forever hot tea.
Sweet. In that case, if my teeth aren't going to go anywhere, it's root beer.
Root beer?
Yeah, I love root beer. I mean, I know I'm British and I love tea because, you know, God save the Queen. But also, just root beer is just fucking nice. Oh, wait, can I swear?
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. Then it's really fucking nice. Like, I remember back when I was a kid and McDonald's did root beer, and man, yeah, no, my teeth were destroyed, but it was worth it.
You know something weird? Like, are you from the UK?
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever I went to London, root beer was actually like really hard for me to find there. I don't know if I was going to the wrong places or what.
You know what's funny? They banned it for a while.
Oh, that would explain it.
Yeah, McDonald's just stopped stocking it. You can still get it with like the sugar-free kind, which is just no. And they banned it for a while. I think it's back now, but you know, with restrictions. The real stuff, the old stuff, the good stuff, that's gone. Yep,
of course. Good old Queen taking all the fun away.
Yeah, the Queen personally took my root beer, slapped it out of my hand.
But hey, I think we'd like to know a little bit more about you going forward. So
Sure.
We've already established that you're from the UK, but where specifically?
I'm from London. You know, heart of England.
North or south?
Southeast, actually.
Yeah. I could kind of tell in your voice there a little bit.
Nice.
So, what are your accomplishments, your bank and routing number, your social security number, stuff like that?
Well, I don't have a social security number because I'm British. My what was the other question? My bank account? Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's 555-5555. Fuck off.
Yeah. No, but actually, I just wanted to know how old you were.
I'm 38. I've been a fan since I was like a kid. That's one of the reasons why I started up Furs of Color, because there wasn't really anything like it. I remember I saw Shy Matzi did a post ages ago about like the Black Furry Black History Month American thing. We have it here too, but it's a different month. And I was just like, wow, like you can do that. You can just say that. You can just tell people, yeah, I'm black. Like in the furry fandom, like it's cool, and it was great because there was this huge outpouring of like fellowship and respect, and people were like, oh yeah, me too, showing off pictures themselves and stuff, and that was very cool. So I saw that and I was like, you know, it would be great if we could just like all like meet up. And originally it was just me and a few friends who I'd met like going to conventions and stuff. But it grew, and now we've got something like 380 something members on Telegram, and I don't even know on the Discord. We were hopefully looking to do, you know, meetups this year, but you know, COVID, so no. But they'll come. They'll be here.
Oh man, so what's your main persona, and how do you feel you express yourself through them?
Man, well, that'll be Pan the Bear, Panic the Bear. It's funny because Panic was actually designed for me. My original persona, I'd still had my like old, edgy teen persona, and I just never really did anything with him. I actually fell out of the fandom for a while. So when I came back, I was like, I'll just keep using this guy. But Pan was designed for me by an artist called Garnetto. She used to live nearby me, and she came in. And one of my staff actually outed me as a furry because he saw her drawing and was like, "Oh yeah, my boss is a furry." And I was like, "Thanks." But
Just casually.
yeah, I mean, like I don't really make a big deal about hiding or anything. I'm not like
Hmm.
I don't go crazy, but like I'm like, yeah, sure. You know, some furries just like dudes who do stuff. Some are not. That's cool. But yeah, she kind of came around a lot, and then eventually helped me design him. I guess one of the first things I wanted to do, even before like first color and all that, was I wanted to like give him dreads and like code him. Not myself. Like I had back when I started up, I used to wear like this grey beanie on top of my hair, and she worked that into him. And after a while, I took that off because like I just want to have him with dreads and like properly. I guess I mostly come out through him, just through like a lot of the art. I get a lot of like I like being a host, so I get like a lot of art of him hosting stuff. Like he runs like a little cafe, and that's fun.
Oh, that's so wholesome.
There's no porn.
So,
Don't go looking for it.
oh, okay.
Don't even. I can hear the clicking.
Listen, that didn't even come across my mind. I swear to God.
Don't lie.
I would never. I would never. So, are there parts of yourself that you've discovered through being a furry?
Sure. Yeah. I I don't know, I wouldn't really say I was like super like enlightened, I guess. But like I learned a lot about myself, and it helped me a lot with just being able to talk to people. I was a like runty kid, back in the day, like real quiet, and then I found anime, which got me out like meeting people and stuff, and we were all huge bloody nerds. But then from there, I kind of slipped over into I think it was the Sonic Hedgehog fandom back in the day. So I got into Sonic, and then furry, and that furries were doing meets all the time. So I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll go to that. And my first meet wasn't great, and that's what made me like slip out of the fandom for a while. But when I came back, I went to a convention with a few friends, Lovewin and Deej, and just they showed me that like the fandom was like this really fun place where you knew where to look. So I stuck around.
All right.
It was nice to like learn that I enjoyed people and looking out for people that way.
Yeah, that's true. That did help you come out your shell a little bit. Even if that first time was a little bit not quite what you expected.
Yeah, I won't go into it. It wasn't great. Early fandom could be kind of weird, put it that way.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, how long altogether have you been part of the fandom, and how has your relationship with it changed over the years?
Oh, geez. Be 15 years? Yeah, 15, maybe 20 years on and off.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Like I've always liked cartoons, and cartoons were always like cartoon animals. So if I wanted to find out more about I don't know, Tiny Toons, I was going to bump into something sometime. But I think my feelings of the fandom have changed like as I've gotten older. The fans it's a young fandom, and that's great. It's great for like a lot of people who, like me, were kind of coming out of their shell, kind of looking to find a place where they could be openly queer, or explore themselves or their sexuality, or even just their own like sense of self and self-worth as well. And I think for that it was a case of I realized that I enjoyed like again like hosting people and like doing stuff for people. So running events and things was a lot of fun for me. But that burns you out, unfortunately. You get the good and the bad. So I, like many people, I think, became a little bit jaded with the fandom. And it was really the Further Color movement, I guess, that kind of brought me back into it full scale. So I'd still go to events and stuff, but I was like, I was a knowledgeable outsider for a lot of the time.
So you spent a lot of time being furry adjacent before like going furry, like full furry.
Yeah, I'd like dip in and out depending on where my life was at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good to know that I could be part of a group that was very open most of the time and accepting and allowed you to try things, but also be able to switch gears and like look out for other people as well at the same time.
And why do you think you gravitate more towards the furs of color?
Well, I'm black. That's like step one. I guess step two is, I mean, obviously, despite having like been part of the founding fathers, whatever of it, if that's what we call it, I think I would have probably gone to it anyway. it's weird because being British, not American, obviously most of the further color group are American. So even
Mhm.
then, there's a lot of stuff I don't really get on a cultural level sometimes. But I understand the the basis levels of what it is to be um, of color in a predominantly white space, and to have that constant nagging feeling that, hey, is this for me? Should I be doing this? And yeah, of course, it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and there's people like you if you go looking for them. So why not just give people a place to go and look for them?
So it's like there's just like so many white furries. Sometimes you feel like, maybe this isn't for me.
Yeah, I mean it's very prominent in certain black communities. There's a lot of like nerdy stuff is white stuff.
Ah,
If you
yeah.
like anime, it's white stuff. If you like computer games or not computer games, but like just, computers, programming, whatever, that's white stuff. So it can be very hard to be geeky, just flat out geeky in those spaces. Like I don't think I could tell some of my cousins, oh, what I really love doing? Dungeons and Dragons. Hell yeah! Like I'm a grown man. And even then they'd be like, what are you talking about? So it's a case where you can say, okay, I like this stuff, and even though right now in this group of 30 people at my local firm, it's very wide. I know that there's at least 300 plus people that can talk to it just like me, and it goes further than just being a geek. It goes like deeper into how you feel about your own culture and about your own family as well. Sometimes because you feel like you can't be yourself around them, but this gives you an extended family who get your culture as well.
Yeah, exactly. You really start to learn about your sense of self through using the fandom as a vehicle. So Boneless Rue asks, has being in the fandom impacted your life in any meaningful way?
I mean, sure, I made some great friends. Like I've got friends who I knew when I was like 16 years old. I still know now. And like, that for a grown dude is like sometimes mind blowing. Very few people get to have like the friends that they have when they're young, all the way up into
Hmm.
adulthood. Um, so yeah, I've met some people who have really like changed my life. I've had friends, siblings, lovers through the fandom. It's yeah, no, it's I don't know where I'd be without it today. I'd probably still be kind of quiet, I guess. But no, it's been an all around, all in all positive experience.
The power of friendship.
Yeah,
That, that is honestly pretty phenomenal, though, because a lot of adult men right now are having issues like making friends or
absolutely. Loneliness
relationships
is a
in
killer
general.
in adult men.
Yeah.
It's something they can't even talk about most of the time. So and that's another thing as well. Being able to actually say your feelings, even hiding them behind the veneer of a persona, is something that is incredibly freeing as a man, as a grown man.
Yeah, that's true. Are there instances in your mind that stick out to you that make you feel as though BIPOC furries are treated differently?
Hmm. I mean, definitely. In as much as like BIPOC people in general are treated differently,
Mm.
especially in going back to like geek communities, comics, anime, video games, whatever. There's
Hmm.
very often, especially in the rise of the internet, a just below the surface, like sexism, racism, ableism. It's all there, just below the surface. So it's I'm sorry, I went on a tangent. What's the question?
That wasn't that bad of a tangent. Were there any specific instances you can think of when people
Right,
like
right,
applied
right.
that pressure just enough to make that shit pop up?
Yeah, I mean, nothing really comes like immediately to mind. Obviously, there was the pushback against the original for Black History Month, and the second one that Matty did as well. But I think by that time it kind of just become its own thing, and some of the pushback that we saw was like really startling. I mean, it was so weird to see that some people just did not like the idea of people being in a space they perceive as theirs when it's absolutely not. We're all cartoon animal people. Like, what's your problem? But I can't think of anything specific that like pops up to mind right now that I was like, man, this is not great.
So it was like mask off. Hey, what are you darkies doing in my space? Kind of thing.
Kinda. And the problem is as well is like
Really? That's pretty
yeah,
shocking.
because you've got the anonymity of a persona, like
Hmm.
there's nothing worse. I see it a lot where a guy or a girl or whatever will do a face reveal, and people just give him shit, and I see it,
Damn.
and it's like it ain't great. I've had it happen before, like literally. I think somebody was like, "I bet you're Indian," and I was like, "What? Why?" And they said, "Well, because you're British, and I don't think you're white." And I'm like, "So I couldn't be black or something?" They're like, "No." Wow. Okay. All right. And we just didn't talk again.
The nerve of some people.
Eh, the anonymity gives you a lot of time to run your mouth.
Do you feel as though the positive aspects of the fandom outweigh the bad overall?
Oh yeah, for sure, totally, absolutely.
Okay,
Like,
that's good.
yeah. No, don't get me wrong. Don't get. I love the fandom. I mean, you asked me about things that suck. I'll tell you about things that suck. But if you want me to talk about things that are great about fandom, absolutely. There's so much talent. I personally am incredibly proud of the fandom. Like when I see that somebody's built like a fursuit with moving eyes and like a robo tail or like LEDs
Oh
all the way
yeah,
through it, or I
definitely.
see like amazing artists, or I read fantastic anthro literature, or you're just finding out that like oh, this guy's got a cool persona and also he's a nuclear physicist. It's just like it makes you feel proud to be part of the community. So yeah, totally. I look at the fandom. I think this is a good thing um, that I'd like to see continue.
Gotcha. So, would you consider yourself to be a creative type?
Man,
Like
yeah,
you
but I don't have
have
any
writer on
time.
your little profile.
Yeah, no, creative, yes. Any time to do it? No.
Oh man.
I think the only thing I get time to do right now, regularly, is I do a podcast with some friends.
Mm.
There's RJ, who's another BIPOC fur here in the UK, Cypher and Ty as well, and it's called Cosmopunk, and it's like a Starfinder actual play podcast, kind of like D&D but in space. It's fun.
So you run a D&D podcast?
Yeah,
Huh. Well, that definitely counts.
I mean, between that and pretending to write up storylines, yeah, it's good.
I mean, I think don't you have to like write like character sheets or something for D&D too?
Yeah, but you see, the trick to D&D is if you're really good at winging it, nobody notices.
I'll take your word for it. I ain't know anything about that kind of stuff. So, do you feel as though it's important for creative furs of color to have spaces within the community to express themselves and share their culture through the furry art?
For sure, yeah. I think it's important that anybody should have a space in the community. I don't think it's
Hmm.
I don't think there's any part of what any like I said, you should be proud that you see somebody and they're doing like, incredible Korean inspired art. You should be like, damn, that guy's part of my community. That's awesome. Why would you be mad about that?
Yeah, that's true. I would love to come across more art that has like cultural significance. I, for one.
Sure, absolutely. I think that I love seeing like cultures and art in the fandom. I love seeing people like using the fandom and personas and furry art to better connect with themselves. So for me, I'm just like, yeah, absolutely. If I can scroll through 5 pages of hot, the gayest action I can find, I should be able to see like a page of like a dude being like, check it out, I have a Korean styled persona. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Why can one thing be praised and another thing be vilified when they're both the same thing? It's just expressing who you are.
How would you describe your sexuality and/or gender identity?
Hmm. Um. See, for years I said bisexual, but apparently
Hmm.
somebody like read me my rights and told me sexuality should be pansexual. So there's either or, I guess.
Either or.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I don't quite know the difference personally, and I'm old enough to not really worry about it.
Hmm.
But I'll happily listen to people if people want to explain or talk about it. That's fine, but I'm okay.
Yeah, that's fair enough, honestly. Because for the longest time, I was under the impression that pansexuality was for like trans or people that were in between,
Hmm.
but apparently that's also covered by bisexuality. So I'm not 100% anymore on that one.
Right, exactly. I mean, like, I don't have a problem with trans people, whatever. Like,
Hmm.
it's trans women and women, so I like women, whatever. But again,
Yeah.
I'm talking from my own personal experience. I know that there is. I'm not trying to do any panorama or anything like that. I'm just saying that
Hmm.
me personally, I don't follow it enough to understand that it's anything more than what I am.
Okay. That's totally valid. Do you find ways to express yourself like through your persona, like express your sexuality through your personas,
Yeah,
like
see,
art or
trying to get
stuff?
that porn, huh? I
No,
told you, I
no,
knew
I
it.
just mean
I
like
knew it. I
you.
knew you couldn't help it. Ah, sly. Tried to sneak that one in there.
Hey, I'm just saying, it's totally fine if you just want to have a picture of your Sona with a rainbow in the
You want me
background.
to send that to your Discord now, or I got the links here.
Okay, maybe later. But that's so I'm guessing if that's a yes.
Not for a long time. Not for a long
Mm,
time. But yeah, definitely back in the day.
like in the early days,
Oh yeah.
you're young and curious.
Young and horny more so.
Oh my goodness. Oh, let's jump down to this. What does BLM mean to you?
BLM, Black Lives Matter.
Mm-hmm.
What's it mean?
To you specifically.
Oh, it's a blanket statement, really. It means that Black Lives Matter. It means, well, it means what should always be fact anyway. But yeah, absolutely, it just means that Black people should be treated equally and fairly, and that the incredible amount of injustice needs to stop. It's mind-boggling that, I mean, especially in America. No offense, but you guys are weird. Like, I don't know how people get away with half the stuff I keep reading about. Like, it sounds insane. But
Yeah.
it's happening, and the awful thing is, and the reason that you need Black Lives Matter is because it's happening. This insane stuff is actually happening. It's a great source of sorrow for me. The whole situation, and I really hate seeing people, especially young people, real young kids and stuff, go through it over there, and by proxy over here. But I just
Mhm.
it boggles my mind that it got this bad. I just don't understand. I mean, I know why, but yeah, I can't believe it.
Honestly, I'm not sure how it escalated as quickly as it did, but it is in full force right about now. Just, I would say it's about a 11 out of 10 right now.
Yeah, like if you watch the movie NWA, it's got a great piece about the whole furor around the Rodney King incident, and the fact that happened and was caught live and everything, and nothing happened. Just breaks my heart.
Yep.
It breaks my
And
heart
I mean, it happens like over and over again, and
over and over again. Like
yeah.
you keep hearing about it, and it's just insane. It's so crazy that this can happen. Sorry. Yeah, no, it's
So
rough.
the thing about the UK though is that it has racism problems as well.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
as multicultural as it is, and I was actually like surprised at how many different people there were. Like, there were more Indian people and more Muslim people for sure. I remember that much. The thing is that it seems like you guys are more subtle about it, to the point where it's like color blindness racism.
In the UK, racism is so hard baked into what it is to be British,
Mm-hmm.
because of course they had the empire and yada yada. So
Right,
the idea
exactly.
of like other races being in any way inferior was just like the way it was, and it was so hard baked into it that for years you, I don't want to say colorblind, but you were definitely like, you were so drowned in it that you were just like, I guess it's just the way it is. I mean, like, you can look back at TV from a few years back, and you can get some real racy shows and comments made. But I think the main thing about the British is that they do a lot of it with a kind of a cheeky, quote unquote, cheeky chappy style.
Mm.
So everyone feels like they're in on the joke, when really Britain shouldn't even be about racial inequality. It's the social inequality that's insane. You are effectively living in a country which is ruled, quite literally by the upper class, who use every tactic in the book, from inciting racism to lower classism. Like, the middle class, shit on the lower class. It's like, but you're both lower class, the upper class. It doesn't mean anything. And tribalism. We are kept massively divided by ridiculous amounts of tribalism, especially through things like football. Yeah. Football is a great one for it. Even you can't even like go into like somebody else's like general ends without somebody asking about it. And it's this forced territorialism for the lower classes, the middle and lower classes, that means that the upper classes can act with impunity, and we're too busy fighting each other and arguing over soccer for you guys, soccer, to realize it.
Okay, I didn't know that football was that hardcore for you guys. I thought rugby would be more important.
Oh no, no. Rugby is the gentleman's sport. Football is everybody's on football. It's huge here.
That's gentlemen?
I mean, we can go to cricket, I guess. Play some cricket.
Okay, yeah, cricket. I would believe that one. Rugby, people like.
No, rugby dudes are nice guys. I did rugby. Yeah, no, for real. Rugby guys, let's not hang out with a rugby crowd, like a bunch of rugby fans, all day long compared to football fans.
Damn, okay.
Yeah.
That sounds a little bit intimidating.
If you like thighs, you're in a good place.
I'm not going to comment on that.
All right, I'm just saying. We'll go check out some rugby. Tell me about them thighs.
All right. Gotcha. But I'm just thinking like we're slightly culturally different, like just like a strand, a hair different. But I think the big thing is that the police people here have like guns, and if you touch a cop or try to sock them in the face or something, you will either get shot or you will get fucked into space. Yeah,
definitely. Speaking as outside, obviously, the American gun situation is another thing that I just do not understand how it works. I think I watched a YouTube video where this kid, like 15 years old, something like that, walks into a Walmart to kind of buy a gun, and they're like, "No, sorry, kid. Like, they're saying you couldn't have alcohol." They're like, "No, sorry, kid, you can't have the gun here." I mean, okay. And he goes to a gun convention or something, and he just buys a gun, just a standard gun. Just buys a gun, books out the gun for a bit. Oh yeah, just buys the gun and buggers off to go and shoot something. But it's all for the camera. He's not going to shoot anybody. But the fact that he could is again like mind-boggling.
Okay.
Also, the fact that you've got guns in the same place you can go and buy like a nice telly and you're shopping.
Yeah, I always thought that was a little bit weird, but it's just there. It's in the Walmart, so I just never like thought about it. But when someone else comes over, they're like, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah.
I just
you're gonna go and go, "Oh, I'll get some aftershave and I'll pick up a new DVD to watch and DVD, whatever. Pick up a new video game to play and I'll get a gun. I'll do." And I know there's some kind of you got to do checks and whatever, but the fact that it's there next to the tomatoes, bizarre.
Yeah, I understand that. It's really difficult to level the playing field here unless everybody gets a gun, pretty much.
I mean, yeah, but that has its own entire set of problems then.
Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't trust a 5-year-old with a gun personally.
Oh, you mean everybody? Everybody? I think you mean like, welcome to Earth. Here's a gun.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so they give the baby a gun. They slap the baby on the ass. The gun shoots the mom. Mazel tov.
Oh my god. That's America, baby. That's America right there. Hey y'all, looks like you've made it pretty deep into this episode, and thank you for that. Just wanted to let you know that you can follow us over on Twitter at whatsthefuzz_, and make sure to subscribe to us wherever you're listening. I hella suggest Pocket Cast to do so, and that way you'll be able to download the newest episodes as soon as they are posted. Alright, that's all I wanted to say. On with the show. Has anything in your life changed since the start of the BLM protests, in the fandom or outside of it?
Outside the fandom, not a whole lot. Protests are still going on. For me personally, not much change. I have a lot more conversations with people about it. I hope I've changed some minds, or at least opened some eyes a bit doing so. Otherwise, in the fandom, sure. I mean, a lot of stuff came out of BLM for the fandom. Things like BLM helped push for Harvest Moon Hellfest. Then you've got things like again, Furs of Color, and then there were other groups like BIPOC furries and the Fur Unity Discord.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of people, I think, the problem with furs, particularly sometimes, can be like a real tone deafness to the concept of politics, unless it's
True.
very black and white. So it with a lot of people like demanding justice and blah blah, using their platform to speak up, and even if the platform is like a furry platform, there you go. And you see a good few people being like, I don't want to hear about this. I want to talk about nozzles. And I get it, but tough. That's just the way it is. The world, we're still in the world. So yeah, I saw an explosion of support from the BIPOC community within the fandom.
Mhm.
So much so that it split off into like a whole bunch of places, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
I saw some ugly sides of the fandom. But that's people. I think the one of the things we always forget is that like we as the furry fandom aren't like special. This could be the anime fandom or comic books or whatever. In fact, they had their own little implosions off to the side. But we're just people, and we all react, one way or the other, whether we're running around with an anime girl avatar or a husky. So it's not. I don't see a point in being disappointed in the fandom so much as just people in general. But it's like I always say, disappointed but not surprised.
Yeah, that's true. I think the thing that really gets people about it is the fandom prides itself in being open and accepting and caring and all this other shit. And they raise money for ALS and cancer and dogs so they don't hurt their paws when they're walking. And
Was that a thing?
yeah, it was in the it was in the documentary, I believe.
Like
But
little shoes for dogs?
no, they just like bought the dog like a shade so they could like walk around and not hurt their feet on the pavement.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
it's
Like
like
I was imagining dogs
$10,000,
with
I
like little
think.
Nikes on or something.
No.
Okay,
Dogs
that's
hate
that's
shoes.
way less cool.
Oh,
I
I'm
don't care about
sorry.
shades. Rubbish. Where's the convention with the dog shoe charity, guys? What the hell?
I
Make it
feel like
happen.
that's gonna be a thing. People keep
Make it
drawing the
happen.
sandals with like furry feet and stuff. I feel
Oh
like it's
yeah,
gonna.
I like those
Yeah,
though. They look cool.
those are really cool. What were we talking about?
I don't know. This go into a pause debate pretty quickly.
Oh god damn it! We don't need to talk about Paws. What are you trying to turn this into?
I don't know what you're talking about. I just mentioned that I like
Oh,
shoes on dogs.
all right, whatever.
That didn't
First
sound
the
right.
cafe, then dogs with shoes. Okay. I think I was saying something about right. Furries being loving and accepting, right?
Right.
So it's kind of expected for furries to support Black Lives Matter no matter what, because I mean, duh, Black Lives Matter.
Hmm.
But still, even in this fandom, there's opposition, and there's people that are saying all lives matter in opposition to Black Lives Matter, um, which is stupid and defeats the whole purpose of it. And they're so proud of their ignorance. They're like, "Yeah, I said all lives matter. Are you triggered?" Like, okay, dude, chill out. You're totally flexing on me. I'm so sorry.
I think one of the things about fandom is that when people say, we're accepting and everybody's welcome and so on, it's on a micro level, it's on a personal level. What a lot of people mean is we don't mind if you're, gay or whatever, or trans or you I don't know, got no legs. It's on a personal micro level. Things that are on a macro level that affect them that affect them personally in a way that they don't have a way to, accept or not accept. They don't have a choice. Some first, not all first, I don't want to, generalize or anything,
Of
but some
course.
people react badly. Like even if they weren't like, like outwardly like massively racist or anything before, they'll be like, I don't want to see this. I don't want to hear about this anymore. So fuck them. And that's when you get these people who like go fuck them because all lives matter. I don't know what's it's Black lives, and that's where a lot of that comes from, I think. And then some people are just pricks. So, meh.
Pricks, dicks, apathy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of weaponized apathy. I just don't want to hear about this. I don't care. I just want to live my life and have my friends and accept that my friend is I don't know, gay, and that's fine by me because they're my friend. But the larger issue is something that I don't want to deal with. I'm only interested in myself and my circle. And that's where the apathy comes from.
Yeah, I think that young white furries should start like questioning their own apathy at a certain point. Like, if you find yourself not caring about literally anything except for Snuggles Uwu, uh, I mean,
The
even
people
if
who
being
don't
a
tend to care about politics don't
yeah,
tend to have anything to worry about from politics.
uh, damn, that's like an incredibly privileged position as of right now. Like,
Right? Yeah.
even
Like
poor
imagine if you could
white
look at all
people
things
right
happening now
now.
and go like, that's not my problem.
Yeah,
Imagine that. That'd be pretty nice, right?
yeah,
And
I
that's why
would
you'd be
love.
like, sorry, go on.
No, I would. I'm just saying, I would love to be able to, just rise above all this fucking poverty and homelessness and job waste and everything, and just be like, I got a new Corvette today. My
Yeah,
daddy
imagine
bought it for
imagine if
me.
your whole life was just going, that's not my problem, and then driving your Corvette and do whatever.
Yeah, driving
That
your
would be
Corvette over all the homeless people.
yeah. But and that's why I get why they're like that. They're still pricks, but I get it. Because they don't have to worry about anything like that. They don't have to worry that they're going to be made homeless or get shot or whatever. So politics aren't interesting for them because it works for them.
Man, with so many ignorant folks out there stuck in their bubbles and whatnot, what do you think the cutoff point is for discussing why BLM is justified and what ACAB means and so on? Because you have to keep repeating these things like over and over again, basically.
I think one of the easiest things you can do is once you've said your piece. I think a good few people have they've made YouTube videos and they've done they've written pieces on it, and people like you are doing podcasts about it and stuff. Say your piece, record your piece, make everybody look at that recording, make everybody read that piece you've written. You don't have to constantly expend your own energy, fighting people who have to be spoon fed information. Take the time to put a well thought out explanation, which again seems insane. I shouldn't have to explain to you why Black Lives Matter, but there you go. But take the time to put something down like that, like do a podcast, write a piece. I know during again the protest, a good few people were doing like short videos on Twitter and such explaining how they felt about it. It would be great if we could talk to everybody one on one and really change everyone's mind. But that's so much emotional labor, and we're already exhausted. Like take it to them, but find ways to keep your heart safe. It can be you can only talk to so many people who just shit on you so many times before you start thinking like, is this worth it? So save yourself that energy. Put something together like this. I think this is great what you're doing, and then use that to help change minds. As for the cutoff point, honestly, it's each individual. Some people can go on and on and on about it. Some people get very fatigued very quickly, even thinking about it.
Right.
It's do all you can, but again, keep your heart safe.
I think the best thing you can do is have like a short convo, just encompassing like the ideas, and make sure that you're on a factual basis. If you can't see eye to eye on the facts, then you shouldn't just like honestly just don't waste your
Oh,
time
sure,
because
sure. But like one of the things I do is I run a gaming center,
right.
and like during Black Lives Matter, I got a lot of well-meaning people who would come to me and say, "Hey, what are your opinions on this? I'd like to hear it from from a black man, blah blah." And that was fine until maybe the 30th person. At which point I was getting upset and frustrated. And look, I'm fully aware that there are people out there who are doing far more than me. But again, taking it from a person to person, personal level, if you become, you know, ineffectual in your argument, then you just let yourself down. Better to. I wish I could just like hand people a paper with like my opinion on it. Here you are, because there was a point where I didn't want to discuss it with them anymore. Like I said my piece. The fact you have to ask me why I feel like this, it's after a while it was just an insult.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that Maybe some white people just don't understand because they think, oh, X is black. I can just ask them about this thing having to do with black people.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was either people asking me about it or people saying like, hey man, I'm really sorry. And I'd be like, okay, thank you. No, really. And they'd like just spout of something they'd read or, some of my friends had said on Facebook, or I'd be like, oh dude, I just don't care. Please don't stop talking to me. Not
Yeah,
that I don't
they're
care
like
about
expelling their guilt onto you.
yeah, exactly. Not that I don't care about like, the actual issue, but I don't care about your opinion on the issue.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need you to look at me expectantly, waiting for me to say, "Oh, but you're okay." I know that you're cool. I haven't got time for that anymore. I've had to do that my whole life, actually. So that's something I'm really all that interested in doing now. Nowadays, I will give people just like a couple of straight facts and then be like, "Go read this stuff. Here's a few websites to read," because it's
Yeah.
not. It shouldn't be my responsibility to tell you why I deserve to live in a just society.
Yeah, absolutely not. Like, people shouldn't be searching for validation from you, a random black guy down the street. They
Yeah.
should
Oh yeah,
be,
that was another thing where I get like randoms asking me too. Not just people I knew, like random dudes.
Yeah, exactly. They should feel as though they're making an effort to better either their local community or better themselves by being educated or enhancing other people's lives or, whatever.
I don't
Not
even
just,
understand it should be a question. It shouldn't
yeah,
even be like you shouldn't even have to ask me this question. That's the thing.
yeah.
Like, if you are in any way not just a psychopath, you should be just understanding what this is. And when people ask the question or they're like, "Why are you doing this?" or blah blah blah, it's like it's mental gymnastics to understand how you can even think this is okay.
Yeah, the one I get more is like about the cops thing. People don't understand the all cops are bastard acronym, and after
Yeah,
I
yeah.
explain it, it's like, oh, maybe it's just a shitty acronym. I'm like, yeah, I guess leftists suck at that.
But I mean, the thing is, it's not. Again, if you're going to think, oh, it's just if you're not thinking about what it would mean, educate yourself. Don't ask the people who are already suffering. Hey, tell me more about your suffering. Like, no, educate yourself. Just, I mean, plenty of people do, but unfortunately, we keep bumping into the ones who don't, and they either are willfully ignorant or just thick.
Yeah, especially when someone like you don't know why some people have issues with the police, and given their record, it could be something extremely traumatic that they would have to then repeat over and over again to illustrate the point of why the police should be defunded. Like,
Hmm.
what if their mom got shot, like, and they were in the car or something like horrific like that?
Hmm.
Basically just re-traumatizing them every time you fucking poke them, asking them what's up.
Yeah, that's
It's
exactly it. Like it's a scab on our whole community that you keep picking at
yeah, exactly.
when you should just be like, do you need a band-aid?
What would you like to see done to promote BIPOC furs in the future?
Oh man. I think the Harvest Moon Hellfest was a good concept. I think they got a lot of eyes on. Great. In terms
Yeah.
of promotion, I think I'd like to see us doing it for ourselves a lot more. Like, don't get me wrong, we are just deserving of shout outs and such as anybody else. But I don't think there's anything wrong with the idea of just being like, actually, forget you guys. We got like people did and Moss, yeah, they did a Here magazine, which was great. I got a copy. Really proud of them. I think it's fantastic, and I'd love seeing more stuff like that. I know there are other zines in the works I've seen, but I don't have those yet. But I think that stuff's fantastic. I love reading zines. I love knowing that there's a whole booklet of passion in my hands. That's not a porn thing. I'm talking about passion for our people.
Okay. This is seeming like a running theme. Do you have something on your mind that you wanna say?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Listen, it's like 11:30 here, so I'm like,
Yeah.
if I can wrap this up, I can maybe go. No, I'm kidding.
I feel you. I feel you. It is pretty late over there. I am sorry to have kept you,
It's
but
cool.
I do double appreciate you coming on though.
No, it's fine. No, happy to.
But so you're suggesting that furs of color not only create their own spaces for creating these things, that they just kind of like build them up themselves up and don't rely on the word of white furs as much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say I don't rely on them or anything. I'm not saying that they shouldn't
Mm.
do anything, but I think I would like to see, like, I'm always pushing in the further kind of chat for
Hmm.
people to, like, promote themselves and the others more. I'd love to know every YouTuber, every first maker, every artist. Well, unfortunately, one of the things as well is that, like, when people do try that kind of thing, there's, again, you get detractors. But
Hmm.
I say, fuck them. Just let's be great together.
Yeah, I agree. Like, even if we don't get a shout out from like fucking Strawberry Margarita or whatever his name is, I think knowing that we have a strong furs of color base to start from is like really important.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, like, I think there's a good scope to reach out to other, like, geek communities as well. Like, there's plenty of Black anime fans and BIPOC anime fans, and um, you know, D&D players like myself and so on. There's a ton. Like, the geek sphere is huge, and we're all over it.
What's a specific experience for furs of color that white furs may not know of or even have thought of?
Oh, you know what? The elation when you find out that somebody you like is also a BIPOC fur. Like, it's great when, like, I see a face reveal from somebody and I'm like, oh crap, that's awesome. They're part of the community. That's always good. That kind of realization that, there's one more, um, and it was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, I feel like unless you're like a white nationalist, you don't really jump up for joy like "fuck yeah, he's white" when they take the head off or something.
I don't know about that, but I guess.
But yeah, I do agree that it is really cool when I see a character that like kind of looks like me. Like, oh shit, there's more of me around. Oh my god,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah, for
neat like
sure.
a little detail.
Yeah, and especially it plays into the whole thing where you're like, again, about the fandom and general geek stuff being like, white stuff. Seeing that, you are not as alone as you think you might be is pleasure.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the furs in the furs of color chat have this experience where they join the fandom and then they feel like they're the only black or brown person in the room. And that
Yeah,
can be
yeah,
like a
no
very
doubt.
lonely experience for a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of people who join because they want to be semi-anonymous. They don't want to have to worry about people wondering what skin tone they're over. Of course, these
Hmm.
things always come up anyway, but I think that's one of the a large reason why people do join. I mean, hey, I could be wrong, but that's my own feeling on it.
Yeah, of course.
So I think
I
that
wouldn't challenge you.
yeah, I mean, it's when you do find that you're not alone. I think maybe it's similar, like if you are um you know any kind of minority, whether it be a sexual minority, a gender minority,
Right.
or whatever, and you find people who are of your kin. It's a good vibe.
Okay. I got one last question for you, Pan.
Mm.
Then I can let you slip away into the night.
I'm gonna go buy some poor shoes.
Uh, that's a good decision. I'm proud of you. Where do you see the furry fandom heading in the future?
Huh. Um. Hmm.
After all the discourse is over and the ashes settle and whatever the hell else comes next.
I don't know. I mean, a lot of people were telling me this was looking like the resurgence of burnt furs. You know burnt furs?
Anti-sex?
Kinda. They were just generally anti anything that wasn't just generic, straight, sexy characters. It was very, like, comic book fandom kind of at the
That
time.
sounds very boring.
And there was a push for that kind of thing, with the whole "no politics, please" movement and such.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't seem to have really taken foothold. So I think when we get all out of this, well, I'll tell you one thing: cons are gonna have a huge boom. They'll be doubling their numbers. People
Oh
will be so
yes.
desperate and grateful to be out and alive. They'll all go to cons.
The room parties will be glorious.
Yeah, there'll be so much going on. I think there's going to be a huge jump in real world activity as well, which I'm looking forward to.
So the future's bright then.
Yeah, I think so.
Overall.
I think I like to believe that no matter what, even if you got to like just sequester yourself off to like a group that you like, you'll come through. You'll be okay.
All right. It was amazing getting to chat with you today. Thanks so much for coming on the show. Feel free to follow the show at whatsthefuzz_ on Twitter and tell your friends about us. Pan, go ahead and promote something you love.
Sure, okay. Like I said before, I do a podcast with my friends. It's called Cosmopunk. You can find it on Twitter at Cosmopunks with an S. Please listen to that and enjoy it.
All right, guys. You're welcome. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Peace.